Execution Asset Management is being held in public session in its entirety. At this point, I'd like to ask Karen, our Corporate Secretary, to advise of those present on the committee and if there are any recusals related to the items that we need to address.
Thank you. Committee is composed of yourself as chairman and Chairman Degnan as vice chairman, and then Commissioner Merdla, Pacino, and Steiner as members. All committee members are present at today's meeting. With regard to the first item, Teterboro Airport, removal of Taxiway B and installation of new Taxiway B, there are no recusals on this matter.
Thank you. Okay, if we have Tom Bosco come and provide the report of Teterboro Airport, Taxiway B. Tom.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Today I ask you to authorize a $9.5 million project to remove Taxiway Bravo and replace it with Taxiway Victor to improve aeronautical safety at Teterboro Airport. I also ask that you authorize the Executive Director to enter into a contract at an estimated cost of $3.9 million to perform this work. Now, to understand the issue, it helps to know that each runway, whether it's at Teterboro or elsewhere, has a runway safety area associated with it. The runway safety area, or RSA, is essentially a prepared surface around the runway, extending 250 feet either side of the runway center line and 1,000 feet beyond the runway ends, to reduce the risk of damage to an aircraft should it undershoot, overshoot, or make an excursion from the runway. Simply put, when aircraft, vehicles, or even pedestrians venture inside the RSA without clearance from air traffic control, that constitutes a serious safety violation and is known in FAA parlance as a runway incursion. Now, the existing Taxiway Bravo, originally built in 1949, traverses Teterboro's runways 119 and 624, as shown in yellow on this slide. In recent years, as general aviation aircraft at Teterboro have grown in size, the continued use of Taxiway Bravo by air traffic control has grown problematic. Aircraft directed to use Taxiway Bravo by air traffic control cannot exit the RSA of one runway without entering the RSA of the other runway. Consequently, air traffic control has to carefully orchestrate the movement of aircraft on Bravo and on the individual runways. Clearly, this configuration is less than ideal and has been designated by FAA as a hotspot. That is, a location on the aeronautical area with a history of runway incursions where increased vigilance is necessary and encouraged. Now, the proposed contract includes the removal of Taxiway Bravo pavement, lights, signs, and drainage, and replacing it with Taxiway Victor and its associated infrastructure, shown on this slide in yellow. You'll notice that Victor runs parallel to runway 119 instead of intersecting with it. This new configuration will eliminate the hotspot, reduce the risk of runway incursions, while at the same time expediting the exit of arriving aircraft from the runway. Here you see the economic impact of the project. And on this slide, you see that $2.1 million in wetlands mitigation is included in the total project cost, since both taxiways lie in designated wetlands areas. The funds for this project are included in our 2015 budget and in the 10-year capital plan. 90% of the eligible costs are recoverable to the Port Authority under the Airport Improvement Program. The duration of the project is 2 years, given the fact that we have to complete the design and work in off-peak hours so as not to impact aircraft operations. Commissioners, subject to your questions, this concludes my presentation, and I ask you to advance this item to the full board for approval today.
Does anybody have any questions for Tom? Yeah. Commissioner Schubert. Pat?
Mr. Vice Chair, if I might, Tom, as you well know, that Teterboro Airport has always been an issue for the local residents in that area, as well as elected officials. And I understand the importance of this project. I've read the material on it that you provided. Clearly, it's a safety issue, and I think also somewhat of a kind of a requirement, I guess, of the FAA. But I'd ask you to do, as you move forward with this, to please notice the local officials. There's a committee I know that works with Teterboro Airport of local officials. And if you would notice the local legislative delegation from that area, as well as the county officials on this, it might go, even though I know this is not going to impact the necessity of extra flights or anything along those lines, anytime anything happens at Teterboro Airport, it sends off a series of rumors in the area. And to head those off, I think it would be a better idea if you kind of ran interference with that with the local officials in advance of that.
That's a very good point, Commissioner, and in fact, we have reached out to the Teterboro Aircraft Noise Abatement Advisory Committee to brief them on the project and to elected officials in the area.
Especially the elected officials, the county executive, if you might, as well as the, that's 36th Legislative District, I believe, the legislators from there.
Will do, sir.
Thank you.
Tom, also just a question. Is this in the capital plan?
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions from any commissioners? Can I have a motion to move this?
So moved.
Second? All in favor? Okay, so we can move this. Thank you. Our next item is the last green coming back. It's actually just informational, so I don't think we need a vote or roll call to talk about annual Minority Women Small Business Enterprise Report. Lash.
Commissioners, today I'm pleased to report on the Port Authority's performance in meeting last year's goals and objectives for minority, women-owned, and small business enterprise, participation in construction, procurement of goods and services, and other business activities. With the board's support, the Port Authority continues to maintain a comprehensive and effective program that support MWSBE participation, as well as activities to strengthen disadvantaged business enterprise participation in federally funded projects. The agency, including our tenants at our airports, the World Trade construction projects, aggressively sought to offer business opportunities to MWSBEs, which by year-end 2014 yielded nearly $436 million in MWSBE spend, or over 18.3% of the total spend. In addition, our new partners involved with the Goethals Bridge Modernization Program and George Washington Bridge Bus Station, as well as World Trade Center tenants, generated another $114.5 million in MWBE and DBE spend. I would now like to share with you the details of our 2014 program. The largest portion of the total MWSBE spend was over $316 million expended for construction work. The spend on goods and services was nearly $93 million, due largely to our very successful janitorial maintenance program, and for architectural engineering services was $26 million. The $316 million MWSBE construction total represented around 73% of the MWBE spend of $436 million. For the three-year period, 2012 to 2014, the MWSBE spend trended up year over year. The MWSBE spend was $332 million in 2012, rose to $419 million in 2013, and $436 million in 2014. With respect to percentage of MWBE spend against the total spend of each of those 3 years, it was 14.8% in 2012, 17.3% in 2013, increasing to 18.3% in 2014. The largest portion of the MWSBE spend was from Port Authority prime and subcontracts, totaling $247 million. $130 million was derived from World Trade Center construction projects, and aviation tenants accounted for another $59 million. I would like to emphasize the importance of MWSBE spend in our region and its contribution to jobs and economic growth. The regional economic impact estimates of $436 million MWSBE spend supported 3,572 job years, generated more than $220 million in wages, and produce approximately $748 million in regional economic activity. Additional MWSBE and DBE activity from World Trade Center tenants, new partners from the George Goethals Bridge Modernization Program, and George Washington Bridge Bus Station yielded a total of $114.5 million in awards. This additional amount resulted from strong MWBE and DBE participation language included in the contracts and leases with our partners and tenants, as well as effective compliance monitoring. The $114.5 million MWSBE and DBE activity, when added to our spend of $436 million, total $550.5 million. If we were to include that amount in our results, it would have brought our participation rate from 18.3% to 23%. The Port Authority continues to manage programs to assist MWSBEs to become successful on Port Authority projects. In 2014, there were 15 participants in our core Mentor Protege program. A total of 66 firms participated in the program since its inception in 2002. 2014 successes included 3 proteges winning 3 Port Authority prime contracts, totaling approximately $2.1 million. In addition, 7 proteges won 13 subcontracts, totaling $6.4 million, which included work on some of the Port Authority's major capital projects. Through our contract with the Regional Alliance for Small Contractors, we developed and offered over 25 construction management, OSHA safety, technical and business software courses. Nearly 560 MWSBE owners or their staff participated in these courses in 2014. Attendees of the Regional Alliance courses continued to post 85% satisfactory or better approval ratings of course evaluation. As part of our effort to ensure a pipeline of skilled workers, we continue to support our construction pre-apprenticeship training programs offered in New York and New Jersey. These were the Edward J. Malloy Initiative for Construction Skills in New York, the Newark Construction Careers Program, and the Civil Construction Worker Training Entrepreneurial Development Center administered by the Urban League of Hudson County in New Jersey. These pre-apprenticeship training programs continue to be among the most successful of their type in the region. Since inception in 2001, over 2,330 New York and New Jersey residents have completed the training curriculum and were placed many into union apprenticeship programs in both states. Throughout 2014, we co-sponsored and or participated in a wide range of outreach and networking events in New York and New Jersey. Together, these events attracted a combined total of approximately 6,000 MWSBEs, with many pursuing certification and business opportunities with the agency. We collaborated with McGraw-Hill, an industry leader, to present the Building Connections and Creating Opportunities Conference, focusing on MWSBE attendance. The half-day event had record-breaking attendance. And maintaining the integrity of our MWSBE and DBE programs has always been of utmost importance. Consistent with this objective, our Office of Inspector General has been instrumental in the identification and prosecution of firms that have tried to manipulate or circumvent the integrity of our programs. In addition, our review of certification applications has continued to be diligent, despite a large increase in certification requests due to the major capital investments in the region. With continuing board support, we look forward to moving our MWSBE and DBE programs to the next level, with increasing opportunities offered by our partners, growing lists of World Trade Center tenants. We also continue to monitor compliance on MWSBE and DBE goals and collaborate with all efforts to maximize opportunities to ensure credibility and viability of our supply diversity programs. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that, Lash. Any questions for Lash? Thank you very much. I appreciate that report.
Thank you.
And your efforts. Chairman, back to you.
That concludes the public session board